Bison matchup chart. Okay, so before I start, I just want to make this clear that this chart is just based purely on my experience playing ranked. So I know there's going to be like some matchups that other Bison players like, but I despise, and I bet I'm going to get a lot of like non-Bison players telling me that I'm downplaying my main, and I am by no means a pro at this game. I don't pretend to be, but I think I'm just decent. But this is just how I feel about these matchups. But I will say that with two equally skilled players, I think player tendencies and quick adaptations matter more than any matchup itself, especially in a best of three. That's why it's kind of hard not to be biased when making a chart like this, because you know, like some days I might do really well against a bad matchup, and then really bad against like a good matchup because that player or me just happens to guess correctly every time, right? And that happens. So the way that I went about creating this matchup is me, a Bison main, pretending I'm up against another player that's equally as skilled as me. Someone with, you know, like the same number of hours play, like a clone of myself, that just happens to play a different character than me. How well would my Bison do against the other character if we were to play like 100 matches, right? What would the matchup look like? So we're just gonna go in order. Starting out, we're just gonna do Ryu. Ryu, I'm gonna put it here, slightly in favor of Ryu. You guys already know how good Ryu is. I don't think he has that many bad matchups, if any, to be honest. But this matchup, I do think Ryu wins it. The range that Bison wants to play at, which is like the standing medium kick, light scissor kick range, Ryu is just as effective at that range, if not better. You know, he has fireballs, donkey kick, hashogeki, solar plex, the forward heavy punch, all of which kind of stuff Bison's like moves. And Ryu can just throw these moves out. It's very low risk and high reward for him. He doesn't really have to worry about misspacing it unless you do it like point blank. But I think the reason why I don't have him at like -1 is because he doesn't have the best corner carry compared to other Shotos like Luke or Ken. But I think his corner pressure is pretty good. He has really good throw loop. You can block and, you know, try to perfect parry his Hashogeki on reaction. But I think the number one thing that you always have to watch out for is his overhead. It's crazy how fast that overhead is. But I think in this matchup, both Ryu and Bison are very hard hitting. So like a single mistake can cost either player the round. But all in all, Ryu just has like an easier time in neutral to get that knockdown and has better defense. But I think Bison has better pressure on wake up, especially when he has the bomb planted. Alright, so Luke, I'm gonna say even. I actually like playing against Luke. I think out of all the Shotos, I think I like playing against him the most. He doesn't really have like a fast neutral skip move like Terry or Ken or Sagat, Akuma. He tends to rely more on his drive rush or jump in attacks, you know, to get started. He has to play footsies. You know, he might throw a fireball here and there to slow the game down. I don't know why, but I find Luke's fireball to be really easy to perfect parry. I think it's because it's more like a timing thing, because it's like the same speed for all his fireballs, right? Easier than all of the other fireballs, I think. And getting a perfect parry with Bison feels really good because you get to plant the bomb on them. Almost as good as Manon getting a perfect parry. But yeah, Luke players are... Whenever I play against Luke players, they're always like looking to whiff punish or low forward dry rush. But against Bison, I think Bison wins in footsies. Bison just has like better pokes with his standing medium kick, standing heavy punch, scissor kick, if Luke tries to poke back. Bison also has like a little bit better walk speed too. I will say that it is kind of scary when Luke does get that one hit on you, because then he can just like carry you all the way to the corner, and then he starts doing that loop with the fireball and the knee hop. But he has to spend 3 drive bars to get you to the corner, right? So Luke is very meter hungry like Bison. If he drive rush cancel and doesn't get the hit, then it's just like go time for Bison, because Bison can do some serious chip damage to your drive gauge. Alright, Chun-Li. Chun-Li, I have her in Bison's favor, slightly in Bison's favor. I think Bison wins this. Scissor kick absolutely cooks her here. She likes to walk back and forth and like poke with the jab and forward medium punch, the shake my hand. But I think scissor kick and standing heavy punch will make her stop all that shenanigan. Her fireball also has like a really slow startup, so if you have charge, you can easily react to her fireball with like OD Crusher. And then also her jump is kind of floaty. It's really easy to air her or crouching heavy punch her, I feel like. But like sometimes she would neutral jump to try to bait my standing heavy punch or scissor kick, but because she's up there for so long, I would just recover in time to block. Also her potential kick, her DP, kind of sucks for an anti-air. Sometimes Devil Reverse will just straight up beat it if they do it too early. Yeah, I think Bison wins it. Alright, Jamie. Now this might be a hot take, but I think Jamie does really well against Bison, especially when he has a couple of drinks. He has a really fast, far-reaching drive rush standing heavy punch, and dive kick is just mad annoying to deal with. It forces you to play back more because you don't want to lose your charge for Cycle Crusher, right? Like Bison wants to walk forward, he wants to bully you with his like long-reaching normals, he wants to drive rush at you. But Jamie just has a lot of tools to just stop your approaches with like palm or his drive rush or dive kick. Also, Jamie's like corner pressure is pretty good too. Like a lot of safe jump setups, dive kick combos, really good +2 on block, standing medium punch. He has spacing traps for days. I think at 0 drinks, I would probably put him here, 1 drink here, and then 2 drinks we're even. 3 drinks, 4 drinks, it's probably a bad matchup, but for now I'm just gonna put him even. Guile I'm gonna put here, plus 0.5. I think this matchup is mad annoying, but it's not too bad. I think Devil Reverse and OD Crusher are good, but you can't really overuse it. I think just the threat of those tools alone is enough to make him like second guess spamming sonic booms. Head Stomp is also really good in this matchup because it hits high, so then he has to stand block, and then it can also cross up, so he loses his charge. His best answer is to like air to air you when you do Devil Reverse, but you can always just like empty stomp, and if he does like an early air to air, you'll be plus when he lands in front of you. And when Guile can't spam sonic booms, he's gonna be like looking to fireball, drive rush, or jump. I think as long as Bison stays close, he can't fireball, drive rush. He will slowly push himself to the corner, and if you keep Guile in the corner, there isn't much he can do. Oh, Cycle Crusher, yes, regular Cycle Crusher beats boom. Yeah, exactly. But I think just OD Crusher is safer, you know, in case you mistime it. All right. Oh God, Jesus Christ, Kimberly. This character, she's my demon. I don't know if it's me or what, but I have like a negative win rate against this character. Bison has amazing footsies, but Kimberly doesn't really have to play Bison's game. She can skip neutral all day with her like OD teleport, OD overhead, slide, elbow drop, and her freaking far as hell jump heavy kick. It's so hard to react to every single one of her approaches, right? It's just too much mental stack, and once she's in, she just sticks to you like white on rice. One hit and you're in the corner just guessing for your life. I'll say the only saving grace for this matchup is that she also has terrible defense, and Kimberly players they fold under pressure too because all they know is just offense. And when you plant the bomb on them, you really need to make the most of it. Like you got to keep up the pressure. You can't let them out of the corner. Very volatile matchup, but I think Kimberly has like an easier time opening Bison up. She does less damage than him, but she does have mix-ups per days. I feel like it's even. First one to have offense wins. Yeah, but I think Kimberly has an easier time starting her offense, getting that first knockdown. Juri, I'm gonna say it's slightly in Bison's favor. I think just barely though. Like Juri has really far-reaching pokes, but they're just so easy to whip punish because of the long active frames and recovery. I think she also has one of the longest low forwards in the game, but I feel like scissor kick and standing medium kick and standing heavy punch are just so good against her. It's hard for her to go aggressive because those moves just stuff a lot of the stuff that she wants to do. Like you can react to her fireball with your scissor kick, and even if they get the fireball off, you still have OD Crusher. That will make them hesitate to drive rush behind the fireball. And her corner pressure isn't all that scary. I mean, you're Bison. When you're in the corner, it's terrifying, right? But I say it's less scary because it's not like Kimberly or Mai or Cammy. There are gaps in her pressure that you can jump out of, and if you read a throw, you can backdash into like heavy bomb. And her jumps are kind of floaty too. She does have that dive kick special, but air to air does counter both. I'll say the most annoying move she has is the jump heavy punch. The air special, or not air special, the aerial normal where she like kicks downwards. That's really hard for Bison to anti-air. Like you basically have to air to air her. You have to jump back and do crouching light punch, but you have to do it fast because her jump heavy punch comes out so fast. So, but she kind of have to be close to do that though. And sometimes you can like walk away from her when she does that, or walk under her to make her whiff. Another good thing is she doesn't get Oki after her wake up DP. So that means it's not that big of a deal if you were to guess wrong on her wake up. It just resets neutral. You know, unlike some other characters like Ryu or Terry where they can drive rush in after a wake up DP to force a guessing game and even possibly win the round, right? But I think Bison wins neutral here. If you just make sure to check her drive rush, because they often resort to drive rush when they can't do anything else. Alright, Dhalsim, you already know. Dhalsim, this matchup is so free. Like, Dhalsim will try to poke you, but he does so little damage that it's like he's trying to tickle you to death. He doesn't really have an overhead, so you could block all his stuff. Miss screen, I'm willing to take all the throws because then it just resets to neutral. You know, I think Bison can play patient in this game and just in this matchup, and then just slowly walk him down, and then you can regen your drive gauge too. If they low float, you can drive rush standing light punch him out of the air, and then you can like drive rush standing light kick, cancel in the heavy bomb. Also OD Crusher also beats out his low float. If they do like a high float, you can just dash up, take up space. Honestly, if they're floating and spamming normals, like spamming the heavy punch and heavy kick, you can just wait for him to come down and then do devil reverse punch. Like he can't react in time to it unless he's just like anticipating it or waiting for you to do it. But between empty jumps, raw drive rush, devil reverse, OD Crusher, sooner or later you'll get in on Dhalsim. And when you get in, you know, you can easily keep up the pressure, keep him in the corner. Now he has to take some big risks to get out. Yeah, just very easy matchup. Alright, Honda. Bro, I hate this matchup. Alright, I really hate this matchup. Okay, there's like 3 things that Honda does that's really effective against Bison. Number 1, his neutral jump heavy punch, the stop sign. That move is just so hard. That move is so hard for Bison to anti-air. You would think Psycho Crusher is the answer, but nope. It often trades with his neutral jump heavy punch. Your standing heavy kick is probably the most consistent anti-air for it, but you kind of have to be close to kick him out of the air, right? But if you're close to him, he's just gonna standing medium punch you to death. And then another thing is his headbutt. Headbutt is -3, but the pushback, -3 on block, but the pushback is just far enough to where you can't throw him. Or you can't even like safely combo him. You have to make a hard commitment. You have to drive rush cancel if you think they're gonna do something. If he tries to crouching light punch you after headbutt, you can crouching medium punch, drive rush cancel. So it just becomes like a guessing game, right? So is he going to crouching light punch into headbutt or walk back or block? So if he tries to like crouching light punch you, you can crouching medium punch him, but you're not getting much out of it unless you drive rush cancel. And if he blocks, you just wasted 3 bars. And then if he's like walking back, you can crouching medium kick, drive rush cancel, but that loses to him doing crouching light punch. So it's just like a guessing game where it's in his favor. I think the best thing to do when he does a headbutt is to either A, parry it, and if you don't parry it in time, you block. You should just crouching medium punch and then see what he does next. And then maybe like next time go for like a harder read. Because you don't really want to go for a super hard read, because let's say you get the read. You crouching medium punch him, it hits, you drive rush cancel, you put a heavy bomb on him, and then you drive rush again, 4 drive bars for a bomb and Oki. And then you're like, what, so low on drive gauge. Being low on drive gauge is scary against Honda, because it's so easy for him to burn you out. And his burnout pressure is pretty good. Like, you want to save your drive gauge for drive reversal for when he does the standing medium punch drive rush cancel. Oh my god. Dude, let's talk about his standing medium punch. +1 on block, 10 frame startup, and then they would just spam it. Honestly, if they try to spam it, you can crouching medium punch or medium kick him out of it, but they can also jab or do like the light target combo if they think you're gonna mash. It just feels like doesn't matter what they do, it's a very low risk move for him. I think the scariest part is when he does the standing medium punch into drive rush cancel. Then you have to guess whether or not he'll command throw you or do like a light string with like a safe ender. I think this matchup is just so easy for him to get in on you, right? And start his mix and then continue his mix. He gets Oki off of every hit except command throw, unless you're in the corner. I think headbutt and neutral jump both are really good at stopping everything that Bison wants to do. I don't know. I don't know. It just feels like in this matchup, Honda has the answer for everything that Bison wants to do, and Bison has to take big risks to get anything started. I think most Bison players agree that this matchup sucks. Alright, Ken. Ken, I'm gonna say even. He might not hit as hard as other Shotos, and his corner pressure isn't as scary, but he does have, I think he has the best corner carry out of all of the Shotos. And Bison in the corner is basically a sitting duck. You know, his Jinrai is especially good against characters that don't really have like a DP, because normally he has to keep it tight by doing like a heavy Jinrai, but against characters that don't have a DP, he can just do like crouching medium kick into medium Jinrai, and there's really nothing you can do about it. You could try to perfect parry it, but if he reads that, he can just not do the Jinrai follow-up, and then he can just throw you. But I think in neutral, Bison wins. Bison has better pokes and just longer range everything. Alright. Blanka. Alright, Blanka I'm gonna say even as well. I think Blanka's crouching medium punch is probably his best normal. You know, 5 active frames, very low recovery. Very easy for him to whiff punish, and Blanka players are always buffering dry rush cancel behind it. So I think as long as you don't whiff against this character, you should be good. You still have to watch out for his like shenanigans though, like his light Blanka ball mix up, jumps, OD command throw. But I think your standing light punch can stuff a lot of his like approaches, and you should have enough time to OD crusher his like jump in or just crouching heavy punch. I will say that his dry rush standing heavy kick is kind of hard to check because how active it is. But the good news is if he does it close up, it's only 0 on block. But I think in this matchup you can outpoke him. He really can't do much about your standing medium kick. Like his crouching medium kick is kind of short, so you can scissor kick him and then like walk away. But I think the hardest thing for Bison to deal with in this matchup is when Blanka has level 2. Blanka with level 2 is just a whole different beast. There really isn't much counterplay to it, you just kind of have to pray and survive. Alright, DeeJay. DeeJay, I think Bison wins this. You know, DeeJay has some decently long range pokes, but I think they're all very susceptible to like DI. In this matchup, I feel like I can just walk him down, press whatever buttons that I want, like standing medium kick, standing heavy punch, or scissor kick, because DeeJay players are terrified of scissor kick. I think most of the time they're just like crouching there waiting for you to jump. I think the only thing that I have to watch out for is his sway and dry brush. Like you always want to be ready to check his dry brush with jab. But I think overall, as long as you stay aggressive and keep walking him down, you don't have to overthink his options. Like your normals will just beat out his clean. And that's like a huge load off of your mental stack, since you don't have to react to anything if you're always controlling the pace. Alright, Manon. Manon wins. I know Manon players are going to disagree, but I just find it really hard to fight her in neutral. I'm like scared to press buttons because her width punish tools are just insane. Her pokes outrange mine. Her overhead special is like I don't know what it's called. It's the overhead kick special. It's like almost unreactable, and her jump arc is so low to the ground that it's really hard to anti-air consistently. If you get too close, she will just standing medium punch, dry rush, cancel, and then threaten with command throw or pressure with light strings, or steal turns with like back heavy punch. Her standing light kick is one of the furthest reaching 5-frame buttons in the game, which makes spacing scissor kick like even riskier against her. I honestly don't want to be anywhere on the screen with this character because of how scary she is, no matter what range she's playing at. Like, I can only keep her out for so long. Her pokes are just longer. They do more damage than mine. She's got like damaging mix-ups, great pressure, solid neutral. It's like I can't zone her, I can't get in on her, I can't stay near her, I can't get her off of me. She just walks me down. Like, I thought I was supposed to be the bully character. Yeah, the character is pretty ridiculous. Alright, Marisa. Marisa, I'm gonna say it's in Bison's favor. Marisa, she can't really do much about Bison's scissor kick. It beats all of her armor moves. She doesn't have like a good low hitting move, so you can just walk away from her. She can crouching heavy kick you, but that's like very committal. And then her anti-air kind of sucks. Like, you can devil reverse, and then if you see her charge Gladius, you can just go behind her with the double reverse. And if they try to do like an air to air, you can do like an immediate double reverse, and that usually beats her air to air. And I think throws and neutral jump on her wake up are both really good. Neutral jump just beats a lot of her options on wake up. She also has like really slow walk speed, so like all of her long reaching normals have long recovery, so she's really easy to whiff punish. I say just don't whiff in front of her. Don't whiff in front of her, and don't let her get too close to you to where she could do the drive rush cancel, especially from her forward heavy kick. She gets a lot of plus frames off of that if she does the drive rush cancel. Yeah, she could do like some scary mix up with that. Alright, JP, I'm gonna say this is in Bison's favor, slightly though, just slightly in Bison's favor. I think JP has very disjointed hitboxes on his normals, but Bison can still whiff punish him with like scissor kick or sweep, and JP can't really poke that well against Bison due to like scissor kick and standing medium kick, so he's gonna be like looking to poke, looking to like drive rush or do like a jump in, or he might do like a neutral jump medium punch. I feel like double reverse is really good against JP. Yes, I agree. There's like mix-ups you can do with double reverse. Like you could do like an early double reverse, you could just do like a head stomp, you could do like OD head stomp, or you could delay your double reverse to bait his crouching heavy punch. Or I even seen like some Bison players, they would do like a empty double reverse and then just kind of like land in front of him, because his crouching heavy punch doesn't really have that long of a horizontal hitbox. But I think JP's offense in this matchup is very predictable. You know, he's just gonna drive rush at you, or he's gonna jump in at you. Poking for him is kind of risky because you can just scissor kick. I think the thing you have to watch out for is that don't let him set up OD portals for free. You gotta stay close to him. If you see him do OD portal, just drive rush in or scissor kick him. And then JP can't zone Bison like how he normally does with other characters, because Bison has devil reverse, right? He can just skip his zoning. But that's not something that you want to overuse, because JP can still air to air you, and then sometimes you land on his like a portal spike, then it's gonna hurt. But I think having devil reverse in this matchup will make him hesitate to throw out ghosts to zone. One of the most annoying thing that JP does is his neutral jump medium punch. It is very far reaching, and it's kind of hard for Bison to punish. They often do that to try to catch your like random scissor kick and to poke. Bison can sweep to punish the landing, and if Bison like spaces it correctly, if JP were to block the sweep, the most that he can get out of it is just like a crouching medium kick punish counter, which is not terrible. And even if he does get the crouching medium kick punish counter, he doesn't really get much out of it because he's not really in range to do anything after. What else? You also have like really safe light scissor kick strings against JP. And Bison also has like a lot of meaty setups that if JP were to do like OD amnesia on wake up, you will still be 0 on block. Like I feel like in this matchup, the only way the JP player can win is just by capitalizing on your mistakes. But all in all, I think this is slightly in Bison's favor. Of course, you do have to deal with his level 2, like everyone else. Every matchup for Bison is bad when he's corner. That is so true. That is so true. Yeah, so a lot of these matchups, I'm gonna be like, yeah, Bison wins neutral, but when he's in the corner, he's gonna be struggling. He's gonna be fighting for his life. Sort of like Cammy. Ugh, Cammy. Ugh. I know a lot of Bison players hate this matchup. I hate it too, but but I think neutral is actually not that bad. Neutral, you just have to play patient and always be ready for dive kick. Like Psycho Crusher is obviously the best answer for dive kick, but you're not always gonna have charge. But oh, here's a tip: if you're not sure if the Cammy player will do dive kick or a regular jump in, you can delay your crouching heavy punch slightly. So if it's like a dive kick, you would just block, and if it's like a regular jump in, you anti-air. But yeah, in neutral, I think in neutral, the most annoying thing she does is the standing heavy kick. That move is just mad annoying. But luckily, she doesn't really get much out of it besides screen space if you get punish counter. But really, it's just like an annoying poke to chip away at your drive gauge. But I think in this matchup, if you're consistent with your anti-air and you force her to play like a more grounded game, she's really not that bad. I think Bison has the tools to beat her in footsies. It's when, like what Jeffrey said, it's when she gets you into the corner, that's when the matchup feels like hell. She has a lot of frame traps and spacing traps and plus some block normals and dive kick if you like try to take your turn back. She's just very, very difficult to break out when you're in the corner against Cammy, against this character. She has very good screen carry. So if you get hit, chances are you're gonna be in the corner. I think that's one of the main reasons why I think she wins. Alright, Lily. Lily, I think Bison wins. Lily's buttons. I think Bison's buttons just barely outranges hers, and her best pokes are pretty easy to whiff punish. You know, Bison can just stay at the scissor kick range and not give her any room to charge Windstock. I think that's like the most important thing. I know a lot of Bison players, they play really far back against her because they're afraid of Condor Spire. And I feel like even if she has a Windstock and then she does Condor Spire, it's not the end of the world. If you have drive gauge, you can just drive reversal her OD Condor Spire. Also, her corner pressure isn't all that scary. Like, she has mix-ups, but it's kind of easy to tell when her turn is over and when you can take your turn back. Yeah, alright. Zangief. Oh, dude, I hate this matchup. I really hate this matchup. I'm gonna put him at -1. I think it's just so hard to get in on him. -1000. Yeah, it's definitely one of Bison's worst matchups. It's so hard to get in on him. It's so hard to get anything started because Gief has like amazing normals. The standing medium punch, the slap chop. You know, he's just constantly walking at you, chopping the air, and there's really nothing you can do about it. You can't. It's so hard to whiff punish it. You can't drive rush at him because the chop is just too active. You just kind of hope that you get a lucky scissor kick counter hit because if he blocks the scissor kick, you're like -5 in front of Gief. You know, and he can like standing heavy punch your normals if you try to poke with like standing medium kick or standing heavy punch. You can't really jump at him because he has that one button special. It's just it feels so easy for Gief to get in on Bison. I think he has one of the fastest jump attacks. It's just so low to the ground. I think it's like the jump medium kick. You really have to be ready to anti-air. And then he can also mix up his approaches with the drive rush standing heavy punch. So when you try to check his drive rush, you know, his standing heavy punch will just beat you. If you let him get too close, he will just like standing light kick, drive rush, cancel. I think Bison can keep him out with standing medium kick, but really Geef just needs one jump in or one drive rush cancel, and you're guessing for your life. Once he knocks you down, it's just like it's headbutt city. It's headbutt for days, and then like the matchup is harder when Lily is modern. You think so? I don't know. I don't play against that many modern Lilies. I don't know what normal she loses. I guess she does have like a faster DP against Bison, but honestly, I don't really jump that often against Lily. But yeah, this against Geef, the whole matchup really just boils down to Bison standing medium kick to keep him out, throw random scissor kick, hope it hits, pray that you react in time to anti-air his jump in, and then you slowly walk yourself to the corner, you put your controller down, and you think about what you'll have for dinner, because the round is basically over. Rashid. I know a lot of Bison players don't like this matchup, but I kind of like this matchup. I think Bison does okay in neutral. Rashid is slippery, yeah, but I think Bison has the walk speed and the fast drive rush to keep him honest. Rashid's fireballs is also not really a problem for Bison. They're kind of slow. They're easy to react to with like OD Crusher. You can even like DI him if you're ready. But Bison in neutral outranges him with like standing medium kick, standing heavy punch. Both beat a lot of Rashid's buttons. So Rashid's normals are stubby. He can't really throw them out whenever he wants. Like he has to look for whiff punishes and just play around Bison's buttons. But I think Bison wins the footsies war here. You can bully Rashid, just don't overextend. Where it gets tough though is once Rashid gets in, his pressure is pretty insane. Sometimes it feels like it's just never ending. You know, between the plus frames, the lights, the heavy cyclone, it's hard to know when it's actually your turn. But I think in this matchup, you just kind of have to stay patient and just look for gaps. There are upsides to this matchup though. Rashid doesn't get Oki after his wake up DP. His DP is also kind of inconsistent as an anti-air. I know sometimes Devil Reverse or Head Stomp will just straight up beat it. And Bison's OD Crusher can go through Rashid's level 2. So he can't really just like dash in with the tornado behind him. It's still really good. He just has to play back a little bit and actually put some thought into it. And sometimes you can just like dash up and parry the tornado when he's too focused on OD Crusher. Okay. Aki. Aki, I'm gonna say slightly in Bison's favor. I think both characters hit really hard. Bison just has better offense, better normals in the mid to close range, and better rushdown. But Aki has like better zoning, better mix-ups. I think this matchup all comes down to who can get their offense started first. They both have really bad defense. I will say that Aki's defense is a little bit better because she has the OD Slither. But I do think Bison has like an easier time getting his offense started than Aki. And it's hard for Aki to adapt to Bison's offense, especially in like a best of 3. Bison just has so many different ways of approaching Aki, and Aki can't stop all of them every single time. And Bison's OD Crusher also shuts down one of Aki's fireball with or shuts down one of Aki's best tools, which is Fireball Dry Brush. It's pretty easy to react to Aki's Fireball with Crusher. Yeah, EX Crusher neutralizes his level 2. Yeah, but not completely. Like Rashid can still stay close to his level 2. So if he were to block your OD Crusher, you would just get hit by the tornado. But we're talking about Aki. But yeah, it's easy to react to Aki's Fireball with the OD Crusher, and I think Bison can also whiff punish Aki's whip with OD Scissor Kick or even slide. So yeah. Oh, Ed, I think this is, honestly, I feel like this might be Bison's worst matchup. It is just so hard to win neutral against this character. Ed just completely controls the mid-range while keeping you out. His buttons are faster, have less recovery. They're just super disjointed. It's so hard to whiff punish them. Like his standing medium kick, crouching medium kick, crouching heavy kick are all really good against Bison's key pokes. He's just able to stuff a lot of Bison's approach options before they even start, while being relatively safe. Like, you can't really dry brush at him because his jab, checks, and lights are so consistent. You know, he can just spam them without the fear of getting whiff punished. Scissor kick is usually the answer against players that do that, but his normals have really low recovery, and his crouching light kick is one of the furthest reaching 5-framers, and the reward that he gets off of it is insane, especially if he has like level 2. And you can't really like rely on Devil Reverse or Head Stomp to get in on him, because he can easily air to air with his jump heavy kick, and then you'll eat a big combo afterwards. It's like every angle that Bison wants to approach from, Ed just has like a clean answer. I think the only real opening I find most times is just me catching Ed off guard, and when he's like pressing something and I get like a lucky jump in, but that's really more of like a read. It's not something that you can rely on. I will say that his only weakness is his DP has like a really slow startup. So with Bison, you can do like a light crusher and then dash up and do crouching light kick as a meaty to be safe from his OD DP. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's really the only weakness he has. Everything else, you're just kind of fighting uphill. You have to take big risks to get in, and Ed doesn't really have to take that many. Like, he can go in whenever he feels like it. Alright, Akuma. I actually feel okay about this matchup. I like how I can kill him in 2 clean hits instead of 3. And getting an opening on Akuma just feels so good. In neutral, standing medium kick outranges all of his pokes, so it's kind of easy to control the mid-range and push him back. Akuma has fireballs, and his fireballs is kind of annoying to deal with, but every time he throws a fireball, it's a big risk. Like, if he gets too predictable or I read the timing, I can easily OD Crusher or jump in for a big damage. And if I get a jump in on him, oh my god, the round could end in the next guess. All of his demon flips, air fireball stuff, all that shenanigans, Bison can just cycle Crusher through it. But Akuma is still Akuma. I think he has all the tools, you know, to counter you. He has a strong anti-air. Wake Up ODDP he gets Oki afterwards if he guesses correctly on Wake Up. He has great corner carry. He gets Oki for days. If you let him get momentum, it's rough. Yeah, and being in the corner against Akuma is straight up terrifying because of how many layers he can run, you know, right? Like he can throw, strike, fireball trap you, frame trap, spacing trap. But overall, I think it's a very volatile matchup. Bison can poke in mid-range, blow him up quickly once he gets in, but Akuma can delete you just as fast if he puts you in the corner. I think in this matchup, Bison has to stay unpredictable. You have to like mix up your approaches, never give him the same look twice. I think if you keep the Akuma player guessing, they won't have time to adapt. Terry. Honestly, I feel like this is slightly in Terry's favor. Terry just has a lot of good things going for him. I hate dealing with his OD fireball, medium burn knuckle, standing heavy punch. Terry has one of the longest crouching medium kicks in the game. So, but I think when playing footsies in neutral, I think Bison does okay. You know, Bison can scissor kick over Terry's fireballs. Bison's standing medium kick outranges all of Terry's normals, except for his Terry standing heavy kick. But Terry doesn't really have to play neutral if he doesn't want to. Like, he can neutral skip with burn knuckle, and you can't really react to it with DI. It has like 20 frames of recovery. So more often than not, when I try to like neutral jump, hoping to punish his burn knuckle, I get punished. Like, they would recover in time, and then I just eat a DP to the face. You know, it's basically Honda's headbutt that's plus on block if spaced correctly, and he doesn't need to charge. Oh man, that special is pretty ridiculous. And if he really wants a guaranteed neutral skip, he can just OD fireball and dash behind it and just get in your face for free. You know, I think the recent balance patch also made it so you gain drive gauge quicker when you're walking towards your opponent. So he's basically like building drive gauge while walking behind his fireball. It's insane. And then his standing heavy punch is kind of like Bison's back heavy kick, man. That's +1 on block, and it does more drive damage. People don't really talk about Terry as much. I think it's because Mai is stealing all the spotlight. But I think Terry is easily one of the best Shotos. No, I think Terry is the best Shoto, hands down. Terry just has everything. Great screen carry, great corner pressure, great drive gauge damage, insane damage off of level 2, Oki off of every hit, every special, every reversal, you name it, he has it. Just got here, list is looking fire. Yeah, I think most Bison players would agree with this list. Oh my, Jesus Christ, man. I hate playing against this character. She's the main reason why the meta is so stale right now. I used to think this matchup was even, but the more I played it, the more ridiculous I think Mai is. I thought Bison wins footsies, like he can outpoke her and walk her down, but her normals are all just so good. It's not the range, they're just very disjointed. It feels like every time she throws out a normal, it's like a wall of hitbox in front of her with no hurtbox behind it. Like, she can just spam normals while buffering fan or drive rush cancel behind it. And dude, I don't even want to talk about her OD fan toss. That move is like the most broken special in the game, even after the nerf. Like, characters with DP have some counterplay to it, but characters without DP just have to hold it or perfect parry it. But I think the most oppressive thing in the game is when she has you in the corner if she has drive gauge, you basically don't get to play the game. You just have to put your controller down. I think she has one of the best throw loops in the game next to Akuma. But yeah, this character, ridiculous. Ryu is the best Shoto for you than Terry. He's got plus frame specials. I mean, so does Terry. Terry has plus frame special. And normals where Terry only has the heavy power wave. Heavy punches is +1. That's Mai against everyone. Yeah. Mai doesn't have any bad matchups. I've heard that Dhalsim does well against her. But like, who plays Dhalsim? Right? Alright, Elena. Bison wins this. Like, Elena, she wants to play footsies, but scissor kick, standing heavy punch will just make her second guess pressing a button. You just have to play patient in this matchup. Like, I think Elena has gimmicks. I'll be honest, I don't really lab this matchup, and it still feels pretty easy. I think if I were to lab the matchup, it would feel even easier. The one thing that I find really annoying is how all of her moves, the animations are all kicks, so it's kind of hard to tell what she's doing. I feel like that's by design, right? She's supposed to be like kind of like a gimmicky, tricky type of character, but honestly, I don't really have to care about what she's doing. Like, I can just run my game plan, and she has to adapt. All right, Sagat. I think Bison wins. I think Sagat has the same problem as DeeJay. You know, he has a lot of long pokes, but very susceptible to random DIs. I also think Sagat's pokes are very easy to whiff punish. Even his like high tiger shot it's easy to whiff punish with sweep. And his walk speed is really slow, so I can just easily space a scissor kick against him, or just like bully him with like standing medium kick or like standing heavy punch. It's hard for him to get anything started when Bison is just walking at him with standing medium kick, scissor kick. Like, he can't tiger knee, fireball, or poke. His back walk speed is just so slow that I'm just constantly in his face. His Oki pressure is also not that scary. Like, after 2 standing medium punches, you know his pressure is basically over. Elena low-key freeze, sometimes in ranked. Still have yet to go against an insane Elena, so I don't know about that. Yeah, I mean, I've played plenty of Elena, and the matchup feels pretty good for Bison. Viper. Oof, I feel like this matchup is pretty free. She doesn't really have that great of normals to keep Bison out. I think her Seismo is too slow. Like, I can just walk her down. Honestly, it feels like I could do whatever I want and she can't stop me. The only annoying thing, I would say, is her doing the raw super jump cancel, or not super, just the raw super jump, and sometimes burn kick, because she's able to do it high, low, left, right, and you can't really crouching heavy punch it since they can delay it. Psycho Crusher is the safe answer, but you're not always gonna have charge. If you don't have charge, you can just parry her burn kick. But besides that, yeah, there's really nothing scary about her. She has bad defense. She can't stop me from walking her down. Okay. This is the matchup chart. It's not ordered. Let me see if I could put them in order. From the hardest to the easiest. So I think Ed is probably the hardest. And then Kimberly next, Zangief, Honda, Manon. Yeah, that feels about right. Here, I would say Cammy is probably the hardest, and then Ryu, Terry or Mai? I think I'm gonna put Mai. Even, let's see here. Even, I think based on my win rates, I'm gonna say Blanka, Akuma, Rashid. This, yeah, Ken, Jamie. Yeah, this feels about right. I don't know. Luke and Jamie. I think these two are interchangeable. I think they're both equally easy or hard. +5. Hardest, I would say JP's probably the hardest, and then second would probably be Aki, and then Guile, then Juri after, DeeJay, Sagat. Yep. I think this feels about right. Yeah, I think Dhalsim, Viper. Actually, you know, no, I think it like this. This feels right. So I think this is the matchup chart. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree in the comments below. Maybe you'll convince me to move a few characters around. I do read all the comments.